Isn't this exciting? So I want to welcome you all back to the second episode of Cook with Amore, Cook with Love. Anyone who knows me has been following me for a while. I'm a big champion of cooking with your heart because that is where the real flavour and the real love is. For those who are new to my page or for those who don't really know what it is that I do, my name is Paola. As you can see from my page, I'm called The Tiny Italian, and I'm a self-care cookery teacher and an Italian food expert, and I have this huge passion to help people introduce balance and self-love with self-care cooking and feel good food, especially Italian food, because Italian food is literally, I feel like Italian food is literally love. So it's the perfect type of cuisine to cook food that makes you feel good. I am the owner of an amazing online self-care cooking community. Absolutely love it. And I also do host wellness corporate cooking classes, because what I really want to do is transform your cooking mindset. I want to help you guys create a positive cooking mindset, and it's all about opening your eyes that cooking can be a fun, easy, delicious form of self-care rather than the chore that it can be for many. But today I am not going to be just talking, I am also going to be cooking, and we've got for you today an absolutely gorgeous quick dinner. It's a tuna caper lemon spaghetti, and these are sort of recipes that I really encourage people that work with me or who I teach, that there are so many dishes out there that you can cook that you need a handful of ingredients, mainly store cupboard ingredients. If you've got a good store cupboard, you can create so many dishes, and this is an example of what that is. And before I start cooking, self-care cooking requires a lot of self-love. It requires a conscious effort to want to change habits, right? I don't believe in just throwing yourself in the deep end, because that can feel quite scary. There's something that I've created recently that I hope you guys will find useful, is my new freebie. It's called the Ultimate Italian Self-Care Shopping Guide, and it has only 12 essential ingredients. 12! You may already have them all at home in your kitchen, and you may not realise that you already have the basics, the essentials to cook yourself delicious self-care foods, but it's just about knowing how to use them, and this free guide basically has that all information for you. So if you want to go to my bio now on my page, a link is there, because it's a really good thing to take a look at if you're just interested, if you want to change your habits, if you want to transform your cooking mindset. So after that, I want to talk you through all the ingredients that we're going to use today. And you're going to see how few ingredients for cooking, but it's going to be delightful. So we are making pasta. So we've got some spaghetti. I've got this organic spaghetti by Garofalo. Anyone who knows, I have created some beautiful recipes, and the only reason why they're so beautiful is because their pasta is friggin' delicious. This is not sponsored. I just love sharing the brands that I cook with, because they do make a huge difference to your overall flavour, the quality, the way it makes you feel. Do you know what I mean? We have then got some capers, great store cupboard ingredient. Got some chilli flakes. I've actually got some pugliese chilli flakes, the really spicy ones. We've got a lemon, and we have got tuna. Obviously, and garlic, which I've already chopped up. And what else? Obviously, olive oil, salt and pepper. Oh, and some fresh parsley, which I've already chopped up. So in essence, the spaghetti, the capers, the tuna, the lemon, the chilli flakes, the garlic are all things that I feel like we probably should already have at home. They're all part of my self-care essential shopping list. So just to show you what you can create, does not mean you have to go and slog yourself to the supermarket and buy loads of fresh ingredients. You can make some really good stuff. It's so much better to make this than be tempted to maybe order takeaway or just eat a bowl of cereal or butter a slice of toast. Trust me, I have been that person. If you were here on the last episode, you would have heard my story about how cooking changed my life, but how bad my eating habits and cooking habits were, because I thought I was too busy building a career to take care of myself, which is just ridiculous. But we will get back to more of that later. In this pan, I have got a pan of water going. This is my new pan that I've received from Our Place. Love this pan because you can use it on the hob, you can use it in the oven. It's got this amazing strainer, you can steam, you can roast in it, whatever. So I'm just going to turn down my pan on my water because it's really boiling. But what's the beauty about this dish is that while the pasta's cooking, you can make the sauce. But what we're going to do, we're going to start kicking off the sauce first, then we're going to put the pan in. I'm going to talk to you about this week's topic, which is about comfort food. I hope you stay and you join me. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fry some garlic, guys. I'm going to put some olive oil, again, store cupboard ingredient. we're gonna be generous because olive oil is good fat. Okay, it's good fat. So I'm just gonna give that a little whisk, and I'm gonna chuck in my garlic. I've got 2 cloves of garlic that I've just chopped up to my liking. Add that in. Now, this is a really good, easy dish because you just basically chuck everything into the pan all at once. It's that straightforward. This dish can be done in 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, and it is easy, it's quick, it makes you feel good. Do you know what I mean? It's healthy. I mean, some people might say pasta isn't healthy. Yeah, pasta isn't healthy if you eat half a packet to yourself. But if you eat the normal weight of like between 80 to 100, 125 grams, it's absolutely fine. Listen, the Italian diet is one of the best in the world, and there's a reason why that is, do you know what I mean? Because they balance everything out. Right, so I always say, like, some of you may have heard my garlic cooking tip before, I always like to add it to the pan while it's cold with the oil, because you can kind of then control. You don't want it to burn, because burnt garlic is just so gross. So I can see it now, it's sizzling. And when do I know when to add everything else in? Is I get that instant garlic aroma hit the end of my nostrils. And that's when I know it's starting to flavour my oil, going to flavour my pan. But you just control the heat. I'm just turning it down a little bit because I don't want it burnt, I just want it to soften. I'm going to add my chilli flakes. I'm going to add these now, just because I want a bit of kick. You don't have to add them in, but I just think there's something about garlic and chilli. And then I'm going to add my capers. So really straightforward, really easy. All about recipes, I always think are beautiful as guides, but I think it's really important that you make recipes your own. Just go with your heart. Go with what you love. That's so important. Let's recap. Olive oil, garlic, chilli, capers. Now, the piece de resistance, the lemon zest. Have you ever added lemon zest to garlic before in oil? If you haven't, start doing it now. It's a game changer. It's an absolute game changer. So I'm going to zest my lemon in now. Oh guys, it's smelling sensational. I am a lemon fiend. I love lemons. I would say I reckon there's probably about lemon in about 50% of the recipes that I've ever created or cooked. Even when recipes don't have lemon, I always end up adding it, because it's like, if your seasoning doesn't cut it, if you cook something and it still tastes a bit bland, a little bit of lemon zest, game changer, game changer. Right, a little sugar. Right, pasta. Water is boiling in my new pan. I'm gonna add some salt. Right, adding the pasta in. I have got my trusty spaghetti spoon. So, while the pasta's cooking and while this beauty concoction is doing its thing, I'm just gonna get my tuna ready. But the tuna goes in just before the pasta goes in. You don't really need to, you want this kind of beautiful freshness. Right, so what I want to talk to you today, so today's self-care topic is, I want to change the narrative about what we tend to do. You know, self-care is all about making you feel good, right? And I want us to talk about something that people do to make themselves feel good when it comes to food. And I want to change the narrative. I want us to not talk about let's make ourselves feel good with comfort food, but let's make ourselves feel good with feel good deliciousness. Feel good deliciousness, it just sounds so much better. So these are my thoughts on it, right? Hear me out a little bit. So comfort food, as we know, it's in the name, comfort. It's help us feel good. It can be a food hug. It's something that we enjoy, gives us warmth. And also comfort food can be healthy, 100%. But I also feel like comfort food also has a tendency to default to some unhealthy options, right? So it can lead to the type of meals that we might order from a takeaway, like from delivery or Just Eat, whatever. Comfort food is something that you might just whip up, that is easy, but it's not necessarily always going to be good for you, right? So I feel like where comfort food can be seen as a positive, it can also be a negative. And don't get me wrong, I love a treat. I love a takeaway. It's important, especially when we work so hard and it's such a long, busy day, that we do take care of ourselves the best way that we feel in that moment. And yes, now and again, getting a takeaway, I love it. It's a treat. The problem I have sometimes with the term comfort food, or the thing that I'm worried about is that narrative of when we lean on that type of mentality, especially for me it's definitely like ordering in and getting ready meals and stuff like that, is that we use that as an excuse, or we self-sabotage ourselves to not take the action that will have us feeling so much better in the long term. So even like comfort food, like comfort I feel has a positive connotation, but it can also have a negative connotation, which is something that I've recently realised. Like being in your comfort zone isn't necessarily a good thing. Stepping out of your comfort zone can feel scary, but when we do things that are slightly out of our comfort zone, it's usually because they're good for us, right? And I think it's crazy. Why is it when we have a really hard day at the office, it's been a really long day, it's probably been a little bit shitty, and yes, it's normal for a lot of us not want to go into the kitchen and cook ourselves dinner because we don't have the energy, we feel a little bit decision fatigued, we feel a bit tired. But why is it, and this is why I think it's interesting, or why have we been taught, or why are we surrounded with communication that dinner is such an obstacle and such a chore and is something that it's a nuisance? Why isn't the narrative that to make ourselves feel better is by cooking ourselves something that's going to make us feel good? Make us feel good in the sense it can be easy and quick, so it doesn't take a lot of stress. Feel good is like the pleasure that you get from it, makes you happy. Feel good because it's healthy. And that's what I find really, really interesting. And that's why I want to talk today about the difference between comfort food and feel good deliciousness. Because I feel like if we want to take better care of ourselves, we definitely need to be leaning into more like feel good deliciousness. And that is super, super important for self-care. And as you know, I'm a massive, massive fan of self-care at the moment. It's really changed my life. I've gone full circle. I feel like I have the energy, the focus, the concentration. And also it's a refocus of that I love myself enough to want to feed myself and cook things that are going to make me feel really good, not just tonight, but also when I wake up tomorrow morning. Likelihood when sometimes you fall into this hole of maybe relying on other dinner alternatives like ready meals or takeaways, or even some people who can't be bothered to cook and they'll just serve themselves a bowl of cornflakes or butter a slice of toast. Trust me, I used to be that person a long time ago when I thought cereal was dinner. And then I wonder why the next morning I felt like crap and didn't have the energy to go to work. But I didn't have the time. It's so messed up. And especially for people, if you're a millennial, I think I was brought up with this belief that to be successful and to be really good at a job was meant that you had to put all the hours in the day. You didn't have time to do anything for you, because if you did anything for yourself, that you weren't that serious about your career and you were never going to be successful. How toxic is that? But obviously now we talk a lot more about self-care, and I feel like if you transform the way you feel about cooking, rather than have it feel like a chore, it's that those 10, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour in the kitchen that you can dedicate to making yourself feel better, and not just relaxing and doing mindfulness through cooking, but like you're going to cook something good at the end of the day. Because this is the reason why I care so much about self-care. This is what I've learned. This is so key. And I heard someone say this again recently, and this is something that I repeat to my members all the time. If you really want happiness, if you want joy, positive vibes, balance, if you want success, if you want more of that in your life, then you're going to need to do more self-care. You can't get all of that just by staying on that hamster wheel and not changing anything up. Self-care is so key, but what I've also learned about self-care is that you need self-love before you do self-care. You need to value yourself. You need to put yourself on the top of that list. You should be number one. Because when you're number one, you're really focusing on your happiness and joy, and everything else you've got to do in life, all the hard jobs, business, raising a family, whatever it is, will just feel that little bit easier. Will just feel that little bit easier because you're taking care of yourself. And this is such an important way of living life. And as you know, I've started, my work has very much focused on self-care cooking and taking care of yourself, because I feel like I have had that moment. Cooking changed my life 12 years ago. I won't go into my story again because I did that on the last show, but it can really, really help. So I just want to leave you on this last note. If whenever you feel a bit tired, overworked, and if you realise, maybe I haven't been taking care of yourself, don't say to yourself, oh, I deserve some comfort food. Tell yourself, I deserve some feel-good deliciousness, because you all do. We all do. We're on this planet to live our best lives. That's what we're here for. We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time, guys. So to do that, we've got to take care of ourselves and we've got to love ourselves. We have to love ourselves, put ourselves first. Realise that all that success, everything that's going on, you ain't going to get that much further if you don't take care of yourself first. So this is what today's episode is all about. And here, I'm showing you. This dish takes about 10 minutes, guys. 10 minutes. By the time you've ordered that delivery, put your feet up, it takes about 40 minutes. In that meantime, you're probably eating loads of snacks because your stomach's grumbling. You can't handle it. In the meantime, you could have cooked yourself something friggin' delicious. Do you know what I mean? Right. I'm going to finish off this dish. I hope, I don't know. So, the pasta's nearly ready. I'm now going to add the tuna into the pasta. So that's gone in. I'm just breaking down that tuna. It's just going into this. How long have we got on the... Oh, that pasta should be ready now. I'm just going to just give it a little bit of a taste. Very good. Delicious. Right. So, what I'm going to do is I'm now going to add the spaghetti into my tuna and caper. So good. Cook with love. That's what I call it. That's the name of the show. It's all about showing you how you can cook easy, feel good, healthy meals with a handful of ingredients and show yourself love, cook yourself love. You deserve to cook yourself food that makes you feel good. You deserve to put yourself first. You deserve to eat food that is going to help you with your concentration, with your focus. Because let me remind you, what you eat affects your brain. It doesn't just affect your belly or your gut. It affects your brain. It affects your mental health. It affects the way the way we think, everything. If you've ever eaten crap 3-4 days in a row, don't you feel lethargic? I just feel terrible. I always just feel terrible. So, listen, the spaghetti's gone in. I need to add a little bit of pasta water though. A little bit of ladle, a little bit of pasta water, that liquid gold that we all need. Like I said, guys, this is a recipe that uses only a handful of store cupboard ingredients or essentials that I have in my cupboard 365 days a year. And you can make so many recipes as long as you've got that base. And if you're not sure what those essentials are, like I said, I've got a new freebie, the Ultimate Italian Self-Care Shopping Guide. Go to my bio today, download it. You deserve to know what they are. And even if you go, well, I've got all these recipes, all these ingredients, what now? I give you some ideas in my freebie of how you can turn those essentials into really good, easy, feel good, healthy food. Right. Mamma mia, this is delicious. Hope you guys enjoyed today. It's been fun. I love cooking for you guys. I love talking about cooking and self-care and self-love because we need more of it in the world. This world is moving at such a fast pace. You've got to remember that we also still matter. Do you know what I mean? We've got to feel our best to be able to handle everything that gets thrown at us. And the only way we're going to do that is with some self-love and some self-care. Right. It's looking great. I'm just finishing off with some fresh parsley. The parsley is the only thing that is fresh that you may need to buy closer to the time. Or you might have a parsley plant in your garden. I'm going to serve it up now. I'm using my Pugliese bowls. Love these bowls. See how quick and easy dinner was today, guys. Did you see how quick and easy it was today? I need to learn how you know when you see people do the twisty thing. It's home cooking for me. I just bung it all in a bowl because I don't really care what anything looks like at the end of the day. All I care about is that it tastes good and it sets my soul and heart on fire. But in essence, this is it. Isn't it delightful? Isn't it delicious? So you can have a look. So this is my tuna, lemon, caper spaghetti. It's quick and easy. It's feel good, it's healthy. And you all bloody deserve it. So thanks for joining me today. I really, really appreciate it. We've gone on for half an hour, but I hope you've enjoyed it. If you just joined on, come watch live. And don't forget, if you want to know how you can make quick and easy recipes like this, I do have a freebie. It's really easy. It's got 12 essential ingredients. It will tell you how you can use those 12 essential ingredients to turn them into delicious, healthy, feel-good Italian food. So I'll see you next time. I'll be back in 2 weeks. I'll be actually filming from Italy in 2 weeks. See what recipe I'll come up then and what other self-care gems I will bring to you. Ta-da, guys. Bye.